The House of Light brings clarity to your soul, offering a safe space for healing through our compassionate practitioners, services, classes, and wisdom, plus the tools to support you in our retail space.
This is MJ Graham with Columbus River Dragons, your home for River Dragons hockey. Newnan 99 Rock.
The views and opinions of this show and program are not the views and opinions of this station, its management, or its clientele.
Good morning. Welcome to WQEE 99.1. I'm Donna.
And I am Bruce.
And this is Lyrical Wisdom. Good morning, Bruce.
Good morning, Donna.
What a very interesting day today.
It is a very interesting day.
You guys see, I mean, those of you that are here or close to Newnan know that it's kind of sort of raining today.
Yes.
And guess what song we have chosen?
Oh my gosh. Perfect timing.
I know, isn't this interesting?
It is in the universe.
Yes, how
oh my gosh.
Yes, how synchronicity can just really play a big part in your life.
Rock your world, yeah.
Oh yeah, especially when you're flowing, when you're in the zone.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when you're having fun.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
like we do every Friday. Thank you all so much for joining us. Today we have a song that is a request from Dave in Grantville.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Dave. I hope you are listening this morning.
We thank you very, very much.
Yes, you all can send in your song requests to Lyrical Wisdom Show at gmail.com.
That's Lyrical Wisdom Show. Sorry to interrupt you, Donna. Lyrical Wisdom Show at gmail.com.
Right.
I always make Donna read that, so I wanted to jump in there and give you a shot to hear me do it.
Yeah, so. And you can contact Ryan right here at the show at the station. Thank you. That word escaped my mind. Or you can also contact the House of Light if you want to make a request as well, because I think that's how this came to us from Dave. So thank you, Dave. We appreciate you for listening.
Very, very much.
Yes. So today, on this somewhat rainy day in November, we are going to do November Rain by Guns N' Roses. Are you ready, Bruce?
I'm ready.
All right, here we go. When I look into your eyes, I can see a love restrained. But darling, when I hold you, don't you know I feel the same? Nothing lasts forever, and we both know hearts can change. And it's hard to hold a candle in the cold November rain. We've been through this such a long time, just trying to kill the pain. Oh yeah, love is always coming, love is always going. No one's really sure who's letting go today, walking away. If we could take the time to lay it on the line, I could rest my head just knowing that you were mine, all mine. So if you want to love me, then darling, don't refrain, or I'll just end up walking in the cold November rain. Do you need some time on your own? Do you need some time all alone? Oh, everybody needs some time on their own. Oh, don't you know you need some time all alone? I know it's hard to keep an open heart, even when friends seem out to harm you. But if you could heal a broken heart, wouldn't time be out to charm you? Sometimes I need some time on my own. Sometimes I need some time all alone. Oh, everybody needs some time on their own. Oh, don't you know you need some time all alone? And when your fears subside and shadows still remain, oh yeah, I know that you can love me when there's no one left to blame. So never mind the darkness, we still can find a way 'cause nothing lasts forever, even cold November rain. Don't you think that you need somebody? Don't you think that you need someone? Everybody needs somebody. You're not the only one. I hope we get through all these lyrics.
Wow. No, I
'Cause there's a
know.
lot of
We
them.
do. I just had to take a deep breath there for a second because this is such a beautiful song when you take a minute to read these lyrics and listen to them like you just read
Yeah.
them. It is so beautiful. Get into it.
Yeah.
I reaffirm exactly how I felt before when I read this lyrics. I love this song because to me, it is such a love song to love.
Thank you, Bruce. I agree.
I really feel that deeply, and now hearing it again, like because I read these lyrics when we got this request. I read these lyrics then. I thought about the song over and over again. I remember
All week
listening to it.
long. Yeah, thank you, Dave.
Yeah, thank you very, very much
Yeah.
because it is to me now, and that is of course my opinion and of course how I feel, but it deeply resonates me to feel like that because of everything that it says.
Mm-hmm.
So without further ado, let you jump in, Donna.
Well, I mean, it begins with when I look into your eyes,
Yeah.
I can see a love restrained.
Yes.
So for me, that is, my truth is that the eyes are windows to the soul.
Yes. Yes. I was.
So
Yeah.
when I look in your eyes, I can see a love restrained.
Yeah.
In other words, I can see the hurt, the pain, the trauma, all the shadows that you're holding within, and not allowing the love for yourself
Exactly. And
to come forth.
yes, and when you can see the love restrained, sometimes you can see that love might not be capable of being returned the same way that you feel like it might be able to. You are capable of returning it to that person. You're looking into their eyes, and you see the love restrained, and you can see.
Yeah, yeah.
I can see that they are not capable of returning the love the same way that I can return their love or give them their love. You know, it is
Right.
there's a difference there. That is that, and that's why I like that next line, the next couple of lines where it says, "But darling, when I hold you, don't you know I feel the same?" And it's kind of a funny question. Because it's really that that question, like, but darling, when I hold you, don't you know I feel the same? I feel the same love. It's almost like it's trying to instigate the return.
Right. Or perhaps asking for help
Yes.
in unrestraining love.
Yes, thank
Because
you. Yeah.
yeah, I also see it as that.
Yeah.
Because, there's the old saying, before you can truly love someone, you have to love yourself.
Yes.
So when you look in someone's eyes and you see love restrained, for me that's saying they don't love themselves. Do you see? They're
Yes.
not free to love
Yes.
yet.
Yes.
There's work to be done, so to speak.
And yes, actually, exactly, because and it is mentioned. Obviously, it's almost like when I heard this one paragraph down here, very towards the end of the song, I thought, "Holy cow, that must have been an inspiration moment." And
so he's saying, I feel the same.
Yes.
I've got work to do too.
yes, and don't you know when I hold
Mm-hmm.
you, don't you know I feel the same? Yeah,
Right,
yeah,
right. And I'm willing to do this with you.
yes,
That's
yes.
where the when I hold you
Yes,
comes in for
yeah,
me.
yeah. Because
Let's
it doesn't
do this together.
it doesn't have to be
let's
a-
find what love really is.
Yes, it doesn't have to be a
together.
literal embrace.
Exactly.
It can be the togetherness of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then that nothing lasts forever, and we both know hearts can change. Well, I feel like that simply speaks for itself, because that is absolutely true. I feel like there are very few. I don't know any absolute truths. I only know relative truths, and those change every single day. So, and actually, I'm trying to quote Gandhi on that one. But I do feel like saying nothing lasts forever is almost an absolute truth.
Well, I mean, exactly, because what are we? Energy.
We are.
And energy constantly moves.
It does. It's
It
constant.
does not stand still.
No.
Even though it may appear to, like this solid chair I'm sitting in.
Exactly.
But according to science, it's molecules that are moving very slowly.
Very slowly or very quickly, and they are making things. Well,
Yeah.
they're literally making things amazing. But yeah, I do believe, that nothing lasts forever, and we both know hearts can change, and that is part of what I feel like is a little bit of the message that's deep in this very passionate song about loving this existence and this experience of love. Because to me, that's a little bit of a nod there in that sense, but it also can, it can be a nod towards that darker inner work that we have to do sometimes too.
Because that's
Exactly.
That's why it's hard to hold a candle in the cold November rain.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I asked you, and I'm sure, I don't know if anyone else has thought this, but why November?
Yeah. Why did they?
Why November rain? I have a suggestion, or I have a thought around that. When you look at nature, now in November is when everything begins to shed. The trees begin to drop their leaves. We are going into a period of stillness, of inwardness, introspection, right?
Yeah. And isn't this? I'm asking not because I know the answer. I'm just asking because I actually don't exactly know the answer. Maybe I should. But isn't this around the time of because we fall back
Yes.
at this time? So when
Clocks are set back.
Yeah,
Yes,
so
yes.
the sun would be changing the way it rises. So there is a big change happening in our natural world in its own respect.
Correct.
To be not necessarily intentionally vague, but then that means, of course, the seasons are changing. And so, yes, I feel that connection now too. But earlier, I remember I could not think of a reason why it would have been just directly suggesting November. The only thing I can think of is that it is relative to the seasons.
Right. It's a time of preparing for winter.
Yeah.
And you can't hold a candle. So for me, what I see in these two lyrics is that it's hard to find the light sometimes when you're shedding all that darkness.
Holy cow, yeah. And especially it's going to feel like the cold November rain. If you're holding a candle in the rain, what hope are you going to have of keeping that flame lit when all that rain is falling around you? You just feel like it's a hopeless effort.
Yeah, yeah. And when you're doing this kind of shadow work and you find those deep, deep traumas and everything, what happens?
It can get you right in the boy howdy.
I was going to say, you shed tears.
You do.
You're going to be, it's your own physical being that's going to be raining.
It is. Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
So we've been through this such a long, long time, just trying to kill the pain. Love is always coming. Love is always going. No one's really sure who's letting go today, walking away.
Shedding, just like you just said.
Well, for me, it's everything. It's life.
Yeah.
In a lyric.
Yeah.
Because we have been through this such a long, long time.
Over and over again.
How long have we,
yes.
I believe I believe in incarnation.
Of course.
Although I also believe that it all exists all at once.
Right.
So we have a past life, a present life, and a future life all at the same time.
Existing at the same time. Very hard to wrap your mind around,
Exactly.
but it does. I do believe that too, and I do believe in the idea that it is happening over and over again, and that is something that you hear a lot in a lot of different histories of religions and traditions, and it is a story that is common, and so yes, I feel like that is definitely a a testament to that. And love is always coming, love is always going. No one's really sure who's letting go today, walking away, because like we are feeling with these seasons, this is that kind of November time of shedding, time of change, time of preparation for a little bit of the winter time, a little bit of that.
Yeah. Love is coming, love is going.
Change.
For me, I believe that we all come from love.
Yes.
So for me, this is death and rebirth.
Yes.
In its physicality, too. Babies being born, people leaving the earth, literally.
That's beautiful.
That is how I see this as love is coming and going. It's death and rebirth.
Yeah.
Not only in its physicality, but also in its personal spirituality in
its metaphorical way.
Right.
Yeah.
And now I'm making another connection because November is typically Scorpio. That is the sign that it's associated with.
Wow.
And Scorpio is all about death and rebirth.
Especially if you think about the scorpion and that frog.
In fact, November 11th, we have a new moon in Scorpio.
Oh, wow.
It's going to be November 13th is the Scorpio new moon.
You know, there is some synchronicity to the weather that we have today. November rain, and then, of course, everything that you just said.
Yeah.
So this is remarkable.
Yeah, so love is coming, love is going. People come and people go physically
They do.
in relationships.
They do.
You know.
And no one's really sure who's letting go today because we never know out there who is coming or going in a relationship or in life in general.
Or who's dying. There's
Exact-
someone,
yeah.
every moment someone
Exactly.
passes away on this earth.
There is rebirth. And
Yeah.
if we could take the time to lay it on the line, I could rest my head just knowing that you were mine, all mine, just putting everything out there 100%, giving everything, giving it our all, living our life to the fullest, doing the things, to that extreme way that makes us feel like we have been like totally fulfilled.
Yeah.
We've drank from the cup.
And right. So who is it that he's speaking to?
I think it could be anybody, honestly.
I caress my head knowing that who is you?
That person is.
For me, it's love.
It is love.
It's just love.
It is.
If I
know
knew
that you're all mine.
If I knew that I could really truly touch, embody, and hold true, unconditional love, I think I would lay it all on the line.
Oh my gosh, it is completely
Right?
worth it. Yes.
Yeah.
And that's in the moment of somebody who feels that passionately, let's say towards another being, I know that they probably feel that way. They probably feel that love is so deep and strong that they would just about do anything.
Right, because they understand what love is.
Yes.
And there's also that aspect of knowing, though, that in order to have that true love, there has to be no attachment.
And no refrain.
And
that's the next line. So if you want to love me, then darling, don't refrain.
Yeah.
Or I'll just end up walking in the cold November rain, which is, I think, a beautiful passage to also help from refrain to rain, because yes, the rhyme is there. Mm-hmm. It is very poetic, but it is also so beautifully metaphorical, to borrow the word I said before, in the sense that we can then walk on.
Yeah.
And it's going to be alone. So it's going to be cold.
Yeah.
And that's without love.
Well, right. If you can't find it within, how are you ever going to find it without?
Exactly. Well, it's going to feel like this cold rain constantly hitting you all over your skin.
Right. And
do you need some time on your own? Do you need some time all alone? And yes, everybody needs some time on their own. Don't you know you need some time all alone? I love the way Axl Rose sings this, because the way his voice sings this makes it, I feel like it's pulling at those strings.
Your heartstrings.
Yes, I feel it, because it is this, like, basically saying, hey, We all need some time on our own. We all need some time alone.
Well, for me, this is it. This is going into the place that November brings you to.
Yes, that still point.
That stillness, that going within, that being alone, and rediscovering who you really are, and finding that love within. It must.
It exists.
I can't say it must, but you find it when you go within.
Oh, of course.
For sure.
It's sitting there waiting for us all.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's amazing that it's all written in some very, very wonderfully motivational ways of saying it. And I love listening to that when he sings it. And I know it's hard to keep an open heart when even friends seem out to harm you. But if you could heal a broken heart, wouldn't time be out to charm you? Oh my gosh, I love that line, that whole paragraph. And then he goes into sometimes I need some time on my own again. And then with the alone. And I guess when I say I know it's hard to keep an open heart when even friends seem out to harm you, this I feel like is the rawness sometimes that you feel when you are exposed to that wonderful feeling of love, and then you feel like your love is lost.
Well, not only that, yes, and I am also seeing it as we know that we are all connected.
Yes. Yeah.
And that we are mirrors for each other.
Yeah.
So when we go out into the world and we have an open heart and we chance upon a friend who happens to say or do or exhibit something that hurts or feels hurtful towards us, that's what I see here. Even when friends seem out to harm you, it's, for me, that's the mirror. That's the looking at the love in its real, in its rawness, because we are here to help one another.
We are.
So even when that friend, you think the friend is harming you, in reality, you can heal a broken heart. And so time can charm you.
Yeah.
When you look at it in a different way,
No, absolutely.
you see it in a different way.
Well, you got to keep your heart open even though it's breaking. Because when we allow ourselves to feel that moment, we are actually feeling love.
I was going to say,
it's hard to see it that way, but that's why it is the way I just like translate what Axl Rose is singing in this, is to keep that heart open even if it's breaking, because that's how we have to face everything. And sometimes the reflection we're seeing is what we create, because we are seeing everything that we basically create. And so everything that we are experiencing is something that is a reflection of us.
Right.
Everything is a reflection of us. And so, when we feel like our friends are attacking us or the people that we love us are attacking us, it's because we inside are basically attacking ourselves.
Bingo. And
that's what I'm saying. It's hard to see that. And that's why, like, once again, I didn't mean to go too quickly into that, but if you could heal a broken heart, wouldn't time be out to charm you? I love that line, because yes, time, as they say, heals all. And if we take some time to go on our own and to be all alone, just as he says in the very next paragraph, which is so beautiful when he sings it, that is where we can find that love again.
Right.
And it can be painful, and it can actually be shadowy, which he mentions in one of these next paragraphs coming up.
Yeah.
He says, and when your fears subside and shadows still remain. That's the part, when you read that, I thought, oh my gosh, that's exactly like how it can feel deep in there when you're like just submersed within yourself, but you can't shake those feelings of either doubt or fear, or you just can't quite find that love.
And that's, for me, that's what is coming through this whole thing, because when a friend seems out to harm you, that is the shadow that still remains within.
Yes.
In my opinion.
No, it does.
Or the way
and
that
Donna,
I see it. And then the gift is going on your own, taking some time on your own and looking at that hurt, looking at that pain, looking at that shadow, shining light on it.
Yes.
You find the love again, and you realize that I love myself.
Yes.
I can love myself through this shadow, through this pain, through this hurt, through this harm.
Because when we don't love ourselves, and it's so easy to say that, but when we don't feel the love for ourselves, we tend to look for people harming us. That is something that I don't know why I have had my own experience creating that in my own self, and like thinking I'm going to have this situation with this person today, creating an entire scenario of what's going to happen with these people. The next thing you know, you're living it.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't always have to be quite as simple and literal as that, but it is exactly what I'm thinking here in that sense, is that, you know, when we feel like, sometimes when we feel like people are attacking us, it's because we haven't actually seen the fact that they love us. And we can't love ourselves. So what we see is their love. It's like we're rejecting the light because we have the darkness within. And then the darkness wants to reject us because we have the light within. It's like it's a common, I think, refrain, if you will. And so I think that that's kind of the way, you know, that I see that too, is that reflection, it's so much easier when we have the time all alone. It's so much easier because then our fears can subside.
And I know you can love me when there's no one left to blame.
Yes.
Because then
you love yourself.
There's no blame and no shame.
No.
There's nobody, nothing to blame.
Yeah.
All there is love.
Yeah,
there
you can
is
just
no
feel that.
blame.
You feel that appreciation for yourself.
Never mind the darkness. We can find a way, because nothing lasts forever. Even cold November rain.
Even like the rain today and this darkness today. And and that's the thing, is one of the this song ends with these next lyrics, and I remember talking about this earlier today, because that is something that I couldn't wait to mention here, is that don't you think that you need somebody? Don't you think that you need someone? Everybody needs somebody. You're not the only one. Now, when you hear him sing this song, it's like a chant. It's like a mantra. It's like driving you. And it is so incredible because it's so passionate. There's so much passion in this song for this stuff. And that, to me, like at the very end, it just drives you and drives you and drives you. And of course, in the video, there's the guitar solo. It's iconic, but it is just an amazing, like, don't you think that you need someone? It's just driving, and it just drives you. And I feel like it's really speaking to that beautiful feeling that we're feeling inside. You know, you're not the only one.
We're all connected.
Exactly.
We're all connected. And what I loved was the fact that he went from don't you need somebody to don't you need someone.
Yes.
To me, there's a big difference between somebody and someone.
It's strangely specific.
Yes, because for me, that someone is a chosen one.
I agree.
And you're not the only one, meaning the love is so immense that you're not the only one that can find this love.
No, you're not alone.
Right,
you're not alone.
There are so many people that love you.
And once you go inside and find the love for yourself, it won't feel alone.
Right.
It'll never feel alone.
So nothing lasts forever, not even this cold November rain.
Beautiful.
Thank you, Dave, so much. This was a beautiful day. Thank you all for joining us here on WQEE 99.1 The Key. Thank you. We will see you next week.
Goodbye.
Bye.